Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Evernote and Ingram Micro webinar. Introducing Craig Klemp, who's joining us to go through a bit of a demo and just explain what Evernote Business is and why it's beneficial. Craig, do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, thank you, Tasha, and hello, everyone. Really excited to be here today. My name is Craig Klemp, and I'm going to share not just an overview of Evernote and Evernote Business, but how you and your teams and your clients, by using Evernote, can get hours back in their day every day. Just as a quick intro, Evernote's mission is to help individuals and teams focus on what matters most, turn ideas into action, and work effortlessly together. We started 10 years ago as a personal productivity app. You might know us as a individual note-taking solution, but we've, over the last few years, had great success in launching our Evernote Business offering. We did this because over 80% of Evernote users use us in the workplace. And by using our business offering, you can bring productivity to your clients for easy sharing, collaboration, and team organization so that teams can do their best work. As Tasha said, my name is Craig, lead partnerships at Evernote, both distribution and technology partnerships. We're really excited to have recently launched on the ANZ Ingram Cloud Marketplace. And in fact, channel partners and specifically Ingram and all of you are really core to our go-to-market efforts. So today we're going to cover a few areas. One is just cover some common challenges that we see with SMEs and knowledge workers that they face day in and day out that disrupt their productivity. What Evernote is and how Evernote, which you may know as the note-taking solution, has actually transformed teams to overcome these challenges. And then I really want to bring this to life with just a few minutes of a demo. Also going to hit on how we integrate with a lot of the other solutions that you offer, and specifically Office 365 and how it's a great cross-selling opportunity. And finally close with questions and how to engage with us. So what challenges are we addressing? So first and foremost, information really is everywhere. We've done a lot of surveys with our customers, and they've told us they've felt personally overwhelmed with information. In fact, the typical knowledge worker spends over 2 hours a day searching for it. And when you email your coworkers asking for where this information, it actually spreads the time waste to everyone in the organization. Companies today really demand more productivity in today's economy. And it's challenging because information sits everywhere and people are spending all their times in meetings. So really the question is, how do you find the most critical information efficiently so that you can focus on doing the work that actually matters? If you're like me, you may end up working later hours or longer hours or plugging in late at night when you're really not on the top of your game. So how can we address that? The second thing we will talk about is just the constant interruptions you get day to day. If you see this, you may be getting stressed. It certainly raises my blood pressure just looking at this. When you walk into the office, you see these notifications on your desktop, or even worse, you may roll out of bed, turn on your phone, and see the equivalent on your mobile phone. And it really, this kind of level of interruption really impacts negatively office and worker productivity. And frankly, while we get endorphins by completing tasks like addressing some of these types of these messages, I don't know anyone yet who's paid based on the number of emails that they send. So we'll talk about how you can use Evernote to address some of this, as well as just the explosion of tools. There is software at your fingertips for pretty much everything, but the explosion of tools that different coworkers use within a company, that partners use, that customers use, actually forces you as an individual to interface across all of this. And that combined with the explosion of emails and meetings means, again, that you are distracted and don't have time for the work that you're paid to do. So that's really a segue to Evernote. And you may be asking yourself, well, geez, Craig, that's great, but you're going to just introduce another tool to us. What makes Evernote different? Well, Evernote really brings all of those tools and workflows together. And not only is it relevant documents from third-party applications, but the ability to collect and clip emails into one place, to capture all of your internet research easily into one place, bring in PDFs, documents, organize that across team workspaces, and being able to search seamlessly, whether it's documents, emails, or even things like handwriting. Being able to search deeply across platforms and share with your team is critically important. So really excited to talk more about that. Evernote as a whole has been around, as I said, for 10 years. We have over 225 million registered users worldwide, actually millions of people in Australia using Evernote. So your customers and your employees, when we talk about selling this solution, many of them are already familiar with our basic solution and they're already using it. They love it. We also have had a lot of success with the launch of our business products. So we now have north of 20,000 business and teams using it. We have enterprises with as many as 3,000 employees on our Evernote business offering. But candidly, our sweet spot is with SMEs. Our typical deployment is between 5 and 25 seats. And so we've had a lot of success with the types of customers that you sell to. And that's been really a driving force in our launch with the Ingram Cloud Marketplace. So with that, I'll pause, and if you'll bear with me here, I'm going to switch over and give you just a brief run through of the product. I really think that'll help bring it to life for you.
All right, so I've now pulled up a version of Evernote Business on my Mac computer. It's important to note that this experience you're getting is very similar regardless of the device that you and your customers are using. It could be a big screen format like Windows or Mac, iPhone, Android, a web experience. It really is unified to provide a very similar structure, as well as all the data that your business or your customer's business has. So just to orient you, especially for the folks who are familiar with Evernote, I'll call out just the overall experience as well as how it differs a bit versus our free product. So to the left, on the upper left, you can access your business account. I can actually switch over to my personal account as well if I'd like to do that. When I go into the account settings, that's where the business admin can add or remove users and adjust other business settings to make sure it's in line with with their organizational needs. Once I've done that, we've structured Evernote based on the concept of notes and notebooks. So I can create any sort of note I want. I can add that, click new note, and I can start typing a title, add in information, and actually drag and drop any type of file into this so I can start collaborating. We also have a file format where we organize these notes into notebooks. This is something that all of our individual consumers are used to, but what we've heard from our business customers is they really wanted workspaces where they could actively collaborate, not just with the whole organization or just keep their own notes, but actually collaborate with individual project teams. So while you can access and add licenses via the overall business account, we heard, well, there's actually functional teams or project teams that want to come together in into individual workspaces and collaborate. And so that's where we've added workspaces. This is unique to our business product and our paid product. This is not available to our free consumers. And this is a really interesting structure where you can not only add in notebooks and notes, but provision users based on the people who are most relevant for this project. So in this example, this is our customer success team's workspace, essentially our account management team. When I go create this workspace, I can provision users to the workspace. I can invite them in. I can give them different edit, invite, read access. So only the people who are most relevant can see this. And this is a great example, the CEO of the company might want access to all of the workspaces, including, sensitive HR information, but maybe the account management team only wants access to this. It's just what's relevant to them. They can structure it so they have notebooks set up with individual notes underneath. So here's an example. We have customer success collateral, so the collateral that they share with accounts, new employee onboarding, all types of information that's relevant to their project team. We've also done something at the top of these workspaces to surface the content that's most relevant to this team. So you can see right at the top, we see what's new. These are the notes that my team is currently working on. And we've pinned the most common notes or most important notes to the top. So things like how to use LinkedIn Sales Navigator, what resources are available for implementation when we hand off new accounts to the implementation team. So this is all documented here. When adjustments are made by the team, it's all surfaced real time so that the team has access to the most relevant content. So that's a view of the overall organizational structure, how project teams can come and work together. What does it look like at an individual note level? How might you use individual notes? Well, let me pull up one example here. This is a note titled Janet Jackson, Acme Technology. This is essentially an opportunity or lead of a note. However, we recognize a lot of customers do use CRMs. Is a hugely critical component of any sales team and many other functional teams as well. At the same time, small businesses may not want to pay for a full Salesforce license, or they might want to not just have the very structured data that's in our CRM, but warehouse a lot of other unstructured information. And that's where Evernote Business can be really powerful for teams to access all types of information. So here we can see, we've input or brought in information from the CRM. We have syncs and integrations with a variety of productivity tools, including things like Salesforce and Microsoft. We've clipped in LinkedIn views of the company. We've typed up some key notes on goals. We've whiteboarded out the org structure and the account planning that we want to do as a team. And we've brought in third-party file types. We brought in Google Docs, Microsoft PowerPoint slides, audio files, and even clipped in chat conversations from tools like Microsoft Teams and Slack. So again, we think of, wow, what information can we harness in Evernote? How do we bring the best of all these tools into one application? That's where Evernote plays really well for not just the individual, for businesses to access all of this information. I'll note that while all this information can be clipped from third-party apps, you can also do it directly from the browser and your desktop. So here in my Mac app, I have this little helper, the Evernote icon. I can clip whatever's showing on my browser or whatever's showing on my desktop and save that easily into Evernote. So as you're doing research on account, if you're a salesperson, if you are an engineer and looking for, developer forum information, you can capture all of that real time, save it in Evernote, organize your thoughts, and then share it with your team as needed. Really powerful for capturing all of that data. What's even more interesting is once you've organized your workspaces, once you started to add in notes, like we just saw with Janet Jackson, what's really powerful about Evernote is the more data you have in it, the easier it is to access. So let me give you an example. I can do a universal search in Evernote. I can access whatever I want. It can be based on the title of the note, like Janet Jackson. It could be stuff embedded in the note. And not only are these searches, the text that I've actually typed in, but there's a deep search of things like handwriting. So here I've searched for brainstorm. We can see going back 5 years, my colleague Jared uploaded an image of notes he took on a brainstorming session for the robots account. With his semi-sloppy handwriting, I can actually see that. I can access it, and I can see anything in the history of that business account that's relevant. So again, we think about things like data security, retention of information, employees, and turnover is huge these days, especially at companies that knowledge workers work at. Having access to all of that prior information is really important to maintain the productivity of the overall organization. Evernote's deep search across file types, across notes, across even handwriting is very powerful to ensure continuity across all your employees. So hopefully that gives you a good view of how Evernote Business can bring your teams to life. It can benefit customer success, account management, sales teams. We have recruiting teams that might not want to buy a full applicant tracking system. They can use workspaces within Evernote to structure their candidate pipelines and invite in the hiring manager and anyone who's on the interview slate who's going to be interviewing these candidates. They can capture LinkedIn data, resumes, etc. So you start to see not just the power of Evernote Business, but how it can be used for a lot of different types of project teams and use cases. So with that, we'll switch back to the presentation and Q&A.
So just to summarize, as far as kind of key value props for Evernote Business, one, hopefully you can see this is really a centralized knowledge hub for information for all types of content. And that's helpful because one, it addresses the whole concept of wasted time, right, to ensure efficiency across your team. But just as importantly, from a security and institutional knowledge perspective, if my manager were to leave the organization tomorrow, or my direct report takes a new opportunity, I have access to all of that company information that is permission to me, even when those individuals leave. So if a sales team or you're onboarding a new account manager, they will be quickly and easily be able to access all of that. Second, it's easily accessible. So really just an extension here. You can share, search upon command, any type of information that's sitting in Evernote, and it can be done across all of those file types. And one of the questions that may come up is, oh, geez, Craig, that's great, but do I get any of this with the free Evernote account? And the reality is the Evernote free basic account is good for just basic note taking, but almost everything we're showing here is specific to our business offering. So for instance, those team workspaces where people can collaborate, sharing of content, certain integrations like Salesforce.com and some of the Outlook integrations is unique to the business offering. And there are no paywalls around number of devices or storage, which we do put in place for our free products. So not only do you have a powerful solution here, but it is specific to the business offering that is available for you to sell. The last value proposition that I wanted to hit on, because I do think it's highly relevant to the Ingram community, is our commitment to play well with others. While we are a great productivity solution, we recognize that people are using other tools like Microsoft Teams for chat, Outlook, CRMs like Salesforce and Dynamics. And we have built connectors deeply into many of these other productivity suites. So for instance, with Microsoft, we've had great Outlook integration for years where you can capture your emails into Evernote and vice versa, bring your Evernote content into an email. So you can provide all of that content to whoever you're interacting with. And I think even more exciting, we just launched a really groundbreaking integration with Microsoft Teams last year, where similar to Outlook, you can capture all of that Evernote content and bring it into Teams. But what's really cool about this is if you're working on, let's say, a channel for a project team and you're chatting back and forth and you say, oh, geez, I want to share these marketing shots with you, you can bring that Evernote content in and you can actually edit the Evernote note directly out of Microsoft Teams. So once again, we're bringing all that content into one place. You're not having to switch back and forth between applications. It's really the goal to be more efficient and reduce the number of apps that you're having to play with on a regular basis. So we're really excited about that. We actually won one of Microsoft Office's awards last year for being the top user interface for one of their key integration partners, and we'll continue to build out more integrations across the Office suite. Why is that relevant for you? It provides you as the reseller another cross-sell opportunity for a product suite and a solution that integrates deeply with some of your hero sales of Microsoft Office. Just to wrap up before Q&A, a couple final thoughts. Like I said, we do have over 20,000 teams using Evernote. These are larger companies, they're functional project teams, they're cross-industry, but with really a focus on small and medium businesses with the goal of increasing the efficiency and productivity of their organization. And I think most exciting and why we're here with Tasha and team is that you can now find us on the Australia Cloud Marketplace, up to 20% off for Ingram resellers, and just a few key selling points, and leave you with these points of why we think it's relevant for you before we go to Q&A. First, it's a beloved and well-known brand, millions and millions of users in Australia already using Evernote, so it's day one ready. It's not like an arcane security product or infrastructure that's difficult to sell the value prop to. Millions of people love and use Evernote, and now you can bring the power of that to their team. Second, it's highly complementary to the O365 suite. We have deep integrations with Outlook and Microsoft Teams, so you can attach to those existing Microsoft deals, and we'll continue to build out more integrations. Third, it's a flexible SaaS license model. It allows for expansion and renewal opportunities very easily. Fourth, it's an ideal fit with SMBs, as we talked about. And finally, we do have a global support team and community. So if you have escalations, requests, we have the manpower and the around-the-clock hours to support you in your sales process. So with that, I will, Tasha, hand it back to you and open up to Q&A.
Excellent. That was perfect, Craig. I think the emphasis on the Microsoft integration is really relevant for most of our resellers on the cloud marketplace, especially with the push for Teams at the moment. Yeah, it's a no-brainer, really. I have a question, just while we're seeing if there's any questions from the attendees, about deployment. Can you talk a little bit about how it's deployed and the ease of that and what happens?
Yeah, great question, Tasha. Thank you. And I think this kind of goes to the user interface and everything there, that it is very intuitive, but we do have dedicated deployment resources. So there is a kind of an onboarding that you go through when you sign up that's within the app. But then when there are signups, we also have, again, what we call customer success or account managers who will reach out and help your accounts with any questions. And so both the kind of the provisioning process to allocate licenses as well as how to get started, we think is very intuitive, but we have additional professional services resources in case any of your customers do have questions.
Excellent. And then that leads me to my second question, which is, I'm going to go through how the ordering process works at Ingram, but there is only really one product, and maybe it's worth just touching on the fact that it's monthly or annually, but why is it only one product? And what does that mean exactly?
Yeah, so it's a good question. So Evernote overall is a very simple offering. We have an individual free product, and then we have our business offering. And so we made it very simple for the Ingram reseller base. We've just brought our business offering because that's what's a fit for your customers. And as Tasha said, that is available in monthly or annual SKUs. So this is also how we've always sold the product. We try to keep it simple and transparent, and have given you guys the opportunity to do the same. So yeah, it's only our Evernote business offering that's targeted to teams, which is a good fit for your base, and a very simple pricing model.
Perfect. That's a refreshing change from some vendors. At the moment, I don't think any questions have come through. I'm just going to go through the cloud marketplace panels at the moment, because we have a new interface, which is pretty cool, and it just got released this week. So this will be new for you as well, Craig. Basically, when you land on our Ingram Micro Cloud Marketplace for Australia, you will see a new front page, and you have the choice to click on the original old marketplace, which is what we all know and maybe didn't love so much, and the new cloud marketplace. So these panels are a lot more, I don't know, I think they're much easier on the eye, a little bit more up to date than our previous panels. So Evernote sits under communication and collaboration. You can see the much loved mascot or icon that they have for Evernote, the green elephant. We go through and we can then see all the other products that are in communication and collaboration. Fits lovely with Microsoft, as you can see. There's also a new chat feature that's available on every page. So if you are having some issues with the new panels, just go ahead and have a quick chat. There's people there, actual people, who will help you 24/7. My slides are moving a little bit slowly. Craig, because this is moving so slowly, do you want to take back the mouse and just click through for me?
Sure.
It's pretty, I think it's pretty self-explanatory as I talk through. Oh, brilliant, I can see that, thank you. So here's what the Evernote page looks like at the moment. It's very simple. The content for all of the videos and data sheets and battle cards are still yet to come into the new panel, but they're still available in the old interface. And if Craig clicks through to the next slide, you'll see that you can also display the Evernote products in different formats now too. So you can see what the MSRP is, as well as your reseller cost. It shows the margin straight up, so you don't even have to work it out. You can then click on the product that you like, and as you can see, it turns gray. You go through to the cart. Over in the top right, you can see where you are in the now ordering process. And unlike the previous GUI screen, now you increase or decrease your quantities from this page. And then if you move on to the next page, you can then see where you put in all of your customer information. And this is the benefit of ordering Evernote or any product through our cloud marketplace, because we offer consolidated billing. It's aligned to the customer. You can have as many customers as you like. You can click on your existing customer. And as you go through to the next page, you can see how your order then is displayed perfectly. You can click back into the customer to make sure you have selected the right customer. You can change things from here if you need to. It's actually pretty wonderful. And PO number as well. You can add your own PO number. It's very simple, and I think it's a lot more intuitive than our previous one was. So, and that's it. That's basically the ordering process done. But like I said, because it's only been released, please use the chat function if something's a bit funky, or you're more than welcome to continue to use the old panel. But it's a fantastic way to manage all of your customer subscriptions. So when you're buying your Microsoft and you're adding in your Evernote, it's all there, a monthly or annual billing, as you prefer. Easy to manage. Just going to check to see if there's any questions that have come through. No more questions. Craig, I think that was a very thorough explanation of what Evernote is. I really want to emphasize the integration with Microsoft and with Teams, because that's just such a big focus for us here at Ingram at the moment. Is there anything that you'd like to add in closing?
Yeah, I would just say that we welcome your feedback. We're really excited to launch in the Australia market. We've had great success in North America. We'll be at our Cloud Summit here, and I'll look forward to interacting with our Australia partners soon. So don't hesitate to reach out with any questions, collateral requests, anything like that. It'll all be available on the marketplace, but we're here to help. So we'll welcome your feedback and excited to work with you all.
Yeah, this is wonderful. Thank you so much, Craig. Thanks for your time. And thank you, everyone, for attending. The webinar will be made available on LinkedIn and YouTube, and we'll also be sending out a thank you and including the link whenever Katie has time to do it. Thank you, everyone. Have a great morning. Thanks again, Craig.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.